Start. What a pain in the butt.
Yeah, you know what time it is. Valhalla Hour, let's go! Kick back, put on your headphones tight. Rob and Matt, bringing fire every night. From the land of 10,000 lakes, we rule the scene. With a crew so fresh, keeping it raw and clean. Minnesota Vikings, kings of the north. We wear our purple heart and let the battle roar forth. Breaking down the game, dissecting the plays. With passion so fierce, we'll set the night ablaze. So give us a follow, hit that like. Share it with your crew, you know we're about to strike. Valhalla, our podcast, living life bold, where legends are made and stories are told.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
What's up? Bad. Back after a couple weeks. I was up in Minneapolis for the last two games. Tell you what a difference a week makes.
Big time.
So what initial thoughts, Matthew? I wasn't real sure about Carson Wentz coming in there and everything, but the defense, and we witnessed Isaiah Rodgers have possibly one of the greatest defensive performances ever from a Minnesota Vikings. He took that game over. What did you think as you were watching that unfold?
Yeah, I mean, the defense obviously had us out to an early lead with all those turnovers and the pick six, the fumble six. And so, like, the narrative obviously has been, well, is McCarthy going to be the starter once he comes back because Wentz is playing well, if he plays well through these next 2 weeks? But he also didn't have to play from a deficit. Like, that game was never really out of hand. He was able to just kind of do his thing. He finally had a rusher go for over 50 yards, which helped. So the whole team across the board clicked. So you can't say, well, it was because Wentz played well, or it was all defense, in my opinion.
Yeah. Jay, what do you think?
Yes, I agree. Total team effort. Rodgers was usually, if not all the time, in the right place at the right time. Took advantage of the things that was given to him. And yeah, it was a total team effort, and we're going to need that going forward with a lot of these injuries piling up.
Darren?
I'm really excited for the growth and development going forward with Isaiah Rodgers. I think we got to scale out the free agency, if I'm going to be honest. Like, nobody had their eyes really set on Isaiah Rodgers, and he proved to this organization that he can be another top corner.
Yeah, I'm actually glad that the Eagles declined to pay him now, and I'm glad that we did. I'll tell you, I sit in the end zone in section 140 when I go up there. And it's it's still a great seat because you can see everything that goes on in the jumbotron. I was very, very impressed, but yet worried at the same time because we had Donovan Jackson go down, and I'm like, oh great, Carson Wentz. And when he did try to run, it's like, Carson, let's never try to do that again. Let's just okay, throw the ball out, throw it behind you out of the end zone and get a safety if you need to, but don't ever fucking run. TJ Hawkinson, I thought, really stepped up finally. I mean, he had several crucial key plays and everything. Of course, Jefferson did his thing. Jordan Mason, I felt, was the star of the show on offense. That's my personal opinion. I think we're finally starting to see how KOC is going to use him and the kind of effect that he's going to have, because the dude was just at points in time just unstoppable on the ground. I mean, I was supremely impressed with him on offense. I would say him and Hawkinson were two of the ones that really stood out to me.
Yeah, of course, Hawkinson finally has his best game in the last 14 games after I railed him last week.
Well, he probably watches the show. He is from no.
Hey, not to mention they are expecting a new baby.
Oh, congrats.
So that might have something to do with it.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's the first time I've ever seen people leave U.S. Bank Stadium early because we're winning by so much. It was quite the thing to behold. At one point in time, it's 48-3 in the fourth quarter. I'm like, well, do I want to get a head start on trying to beat the traffic? And I see everybody else doing this, leaving. I'm like, nah, I'll just stay.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's one of those games where we always say, like, can we stop with the nail biters and finally have a blowout? But then when you do, it's like, well, it was a fun first half. But yeah, that fourth quarter was god-awful boring. And those stories, the crowd was not really into it the second half until they showed the Packer-Browns score, and that kind of got the place lively again because it's just like, okay, well, this game's over.
Right? What did what'd you guys predict last week anyways, since I wasn't here? Were you guys predicting us to win?
I was way up. I said 2013, and I wasn't sure which way it was going to go.
I wasn't sure either. Well, with Burrow out, I had a pretty good idea, but yeah, I still didn't know.
Yeah, with them missing Burrow, I still counted them in because with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and then fucking the game happened, and it's like, damn.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was going to be a little scoring because, like I brought up last week, the Bengals' run game is just awful, and their run blocking is like 30th in the NFL. So I knew we were going to be able to shut down their run game. But I thought that either Higgins or Chase was going to pick us apart. I had no idea. And what pisses me off is we were talking about fantasy football before the show started. I dropped the Vikings D after week 2, and then they got. God. Yeah, so
they're never going to get him back now.
I got him back. What? Yep, I was number 1 in waivers.
That would do it. That would do it.
Yep. So I got him back, thank God. But yeah, I had no idea that our defense was going to score 2 touchdowns. So it's like, I feel like I still would have been close to that 2013 score had our defense not popped off. But yeah, I mean, Mason had 2 touchdowns. Wentz had a touchdown. No, Wentz had 2 touchdowns because one to Oliver, one to Hawkinson. So,
hey, people laughed at me for me keeping them in my legacy fantasy league. Who's laughing now?
Right.
So I'm in a league where it's 10 teams. It's me and 9 Lions fans. You don't play a person. It's $180 buy-in, and whoever has the highest points each week gets $100. Last year, I did really. I mean, I won like $700-800 last year in it. This year, I just cannot get the right combination of people on track. But I did have Minnesota's defense going, and they got me 36 points.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I usually will sit there. Recently, at least since we've had Flores, I've started grabbing Minnesota's defense in fantasy leagues for this very reason. And the amount of pressures that they got was just incredible on Jake Browning too.
Right. Which, I mean, yeah, the narrative with Jake Browning kind of diced us up the last time we played him. It was like 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, and it was still a Flores defense at that point. So it was hard telling that he was going to just look as abysmal as he did. I even saw a pretty funny video where it was like the top 5 worst blocking assignments in the NFL last week. And there was 3 honorable mentions that were all Grenard versus the tackle for the Bengals. And then the other 5 worst assignments were that same tackle versus Grenard and Van Ginkel. He was just getting blown by the entire game. No protection for Browning.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'm not super happy, and I know we're jumping the gun because we haven't even done heroes and zeros, but Van Ginkel's out for tomorrow, you guys. So
yeah,
Dallas Turner.
I mean, this is really going to be his 3rd game because Van Ginkel was out 2 weeks ago. He only played 8 snaps last week, so it was majority Dallas Turner. I think it's time we stop saying it's Turner time and just realize Turner's good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he really
he's
is.
like, yeah, like I think that narrative of like, oh God, what do we have in him? I think that's dead. He's playing really well when he's in that lineup.
You don't have to mention his name every time to know that he's doing his job.
Right.
Yep.
And here comes the
So
love already in the comments. Yep. If you got something to say, you got an opinion or something, go ahead and leave a comment like these people are doing right here, and we will put these up on the screen and we'll discuss it. So
yeah, we can finally start saying that Quincy's nailing some of these picks. Turner's playing really well. Donovan Jackson's been a beast the first couple weeks, first 3 weeks. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously Addison's playing really well. He's back this week finally, and I liked the comment he had about like, I don't care who's throwing me the ball; it's my job to make whoever it is look good. So he's excited to play with
Right.
Wentz.
yep. To be honest, I think Addison will make a big difference, at least
Yeah, well,
in terms of extending drives, keeping our offense on the field longer. I mean, if we have some big hit plays, Flores has those guys conditioned, and he has a good enough rotation as to where I wanted to ask you guys, because this is something I noticed just through 3 games. The way Flores is playing the guys and doing the rotations, because he now has a wealth of personnel. You've been seeing Levi Drake Rodriguez. You've been seeing Jalen Redmond having regular rotations with Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargraves. You've been seeing Dallas Turner really rotate in with Van Ginkel, Grenard, whoever the hell else that he brings up there. And I mean, sometimes it doesn't matter what position you play, but these exotic blitz packages, they've been doing such a heavy rotation, and the guys have all been making plays that I haven't seen our defense get gassed yet. Even in the butt kicking last week, which was probably one of the worst games I attended live and everything, I don't feel like the defense got gassed. I feel like the offense just couldn't do anything, and the opportunities weren't there. So, what do you guys agree with that assessment that I think our rotation is fucking solid?
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Fresh bodies.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it last week as well with Harrison Smith back. We even mixed in some Theo Jackson, which kept Matella's fresh. It kept so. I mean, just our secondary. We have our 4 main guys at corner, obviously. But yeah, just having Harrison Smith back and being able to rotate the backfield as well. So it's nice to have that young depth that people want to say this is a 1 or 2 year window for this Vikings because of people like Hargrave and Allen being on the older end. But we have a lot of solid young depth on this team.
This question, did we catch Josh Metellus on Nightcap? He spoke with B-Flow. I think I did see that video. And yes, I like that. I love it when they do Tell Us with Metellus. I like all of his little interview things that he does, and then all the stuff that they, put on the Vikings X feed and stuff throughout the week, all the cool little videos and stuff they do. So yeah, anytime you hear like the KOC stuff, the B-Flow stuff and everything, it is highly motivational. No wonder why these guys want to play for those 2 guys.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, every KOC win when they released the locker room speech, and last week, his one last week got me fired up. Where he's like, "I can't wait to go out and watch you guys play next week. Like watching you guys play every week is like what I look forward to. They're gonna have to check on me during the bye week because that's gonna suck." And yeah, he makes me want to run through a fucking wall every time I watch him talk.
Yeah, that was a great speech, especially coming off of a loss and stuff like that. That's a hell of a speech, and obviously it worked. There's going to be days where it is not your day, and I think by and large, with everything going on when we played Atlanta, it just was not. It definitely wasn't JJ McCarthy's day, and it just wasn't. It wasn't their day. But then they turn around, they show you what this team can do when it's healthy and stuff is clicking. Minus. JJ's injury and everything, but whoever the quarterback is, if this team is up to speed, they're healthy or whatever, they got a lot of potential. They have a lot of potential,
well,
go ahead.
I was saying that's obviously, like I kind of mentioned a little bit ago, the talker is the whole Wentz McCarthy thing, because we have this every time we have a young quarterback who's either underperforming or is injured. It's like, well, the vet's playing well. Do we keep playing them, or do we develop the young rookie? And I think last week we all basically agreed that you develop McCarthy, even if Wentz is playing well. You bench his ass because this is McCarthy's team. And how many seasons do we sit here and have the vet go like 10-7 or whatever? We get a wild card berth, and then we lose in the first round, and we're sitting here pissed that we don't have a top 10 pick versus like a pick in the mid 20s because we won a few meaningless games. No, you roll with McCarthy. You see where you can build. By the time he gets back, if it's after the bye week, he's going to have a healthy Darisaw. He's going to have a healthy Donovan Jackson. He's going to have a run game that can actually produce. So, like, get him the O line that he was supposed to have that he didn't have the first 2 weeks and see what he can do.
Right. And I think that really is the biggest topic of conversation right now in the Vikings fan nation is there is a segment that believes that we have all of these incredible players that are in their prime right now. You've got all of your major playmakers on both sides of the ball are in their prime now. Is it a bad time to try to develop a rookie when we should be in win now mode? Or do we stick with the plan and we develop him anyways and resist the temptation to run with the veteran Carson Wentz? Especially, it makes it difficult if Carson plays pretty well and we string together a bunch of wins, I mean, you look at the guys, when I say they're in their prime, you're talking about Darisaw, you're talking about Kelly, you're talking about Jordan Mason, you're talking about Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, you're talking about Van Ginkel, you're talking about Grenard, you're talking about Blake Cashman, and then you have Metellus. And then you have a nice complement of older, more seasoned vets that are just the icing on the cake with like Aaron Jones, with Hitman and everything. If ever there was a team, see, this is the story of the Minnesota Vikings my whole life. We're always off cycle. Either we have a good quarterback and the rest of the team leaves something to be desired, or the roster is just freaking solid. And we either don't have a quarterback or we're trying to develop somebody. Really, really reminds me of early 2000s when Dante Culpepper was a rookie. I distinctly remember his first couple games, he was using his legs, he was rushing, but the more he got settled in, the more he started slinging that rock. And it led to, winning season after winning season up until the devastating injury. And I feel like Culpepper's career did get cut short. I thought he could have played at least another 5 years productively before that devastating injury. And when you have it's rare to have this much good talent on a roster of guys that are in their prime and not just a mix match everything with 1 or 2 or 3 superstars and then a bunch of serviceable guys. Almost every starter that we have would be snagged up by another team and they would pay a premium for them if they were able to get them. Do we still stick with developing JJ McCarthy when he is not injured? Let's say this, if Carson Wentz wins out up until he comes back, what do you want to do? That's a hard question.
Here's my thing. That window's going to stay open only so long before it slams shut. Yeah. So I say stick with the hot hand, stick with somebody that's going to lead us, and development will happen on its own. That window is a rare opportunity when it's open. And I say go for it. Get with the hot hand that leads us through the schedule and be as it may.
Yeah, I don't think Carson Wentz is that guy, even if he has a really good next couple of games. I guess the Browns, if he has a big game against them, I'll be more impressed because they're a really good defense. But if you shred the Steelers secondary and what we did against the Bengals secondary, like that's not going to sign me over to giving him the team for the rest of the season. And I'm also on the side of the fence that I don't think this is a 1-year window for this team. I think it's a 2 to 3 year window. We might not have Hargrave and Allen in 3 years, but I expect them both to be on, or one of those two to still be on this team next year. And I think the overall further development of our franchise quarterback going forward is more important than watching Carson Wentz absolutely melt down when the lights are bright in the playoffs. And then again, like I said, we're sitting here going like, well, that was a fun season, but what the fuck did it get us other than a high draft pick or a low draft pick?
What if he doesn't fail?
Okay, but we say that all the time, and we did it with Kirk. We did it last year with Darnold.
I know.
That what if is super tempting, and I absolutely get it. But if you're going to sit there and look at us and say like Carson Wentz is a Super Bowl quality quarterback with this roster, I don't buy it.
No, I don't either. But I said go with the hot hand. Whoever,
But McCarthy's never going to be the hot hand if we never give him the chance.
Right.
Like it's going to be the same story every year. It's like, well, we haven't really seen McCarthy, so let's get someone that can win now. Well, when the fuck are we ever going to see McCarthy if we're always bringing in people that can win now? We have to have a bum roster to finally give him a chance. I don't like that.
One thing I would do is the other thing that really blows, like the two major people that are out is Van Ginkel and Donovan Jackson. My opinion, Donovan Jackson has played like a veteran as a rookie through 3 games. I mean, he has been outstandingly good at left guard. Now that Darrisaw's back, just for J.J. McCarthy's confidence and his timing to give him that extra half a second, I don't think I bring him back until Donovan Jackson is back. And we have all the starters on O-line. And you alluded to that earlier too, Matthew. I think to be fair about things, let's wait until we've got the starters all back on O-line. Then let's get McCarthy back in there. I think one thing that is going to help McCarthy coming back is the fact that they figured out what Jordan Mason can do. Now in these next 2 games here in Dublin and then in London, if they do what I think they're going to, and we're jumping the gun again, this is more of a second half discussion, but if they do what I think they're going to do, the Steelers can't stop anybody right now. And if they lean on Jordan Mason or whatever, and he really gets comfortable with this O-line, with the way that the tight ends and the wide receivers block, after the line of scrimmage and blah, 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 so on and so forth, downfield, etc. The routes they have him running and everything. I really feel like that is going to be a benefit to J.J. McCarthy more so than anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what can happen when you're not a one-dimensional offense.
Right.
I think the key to this game coming up is going to be the return of Ryan Kelly. Him and Carson Wentz had a good connection in Indy, and now with him coming back from his concussion, he's going to be almost at full strength. Whoever he's with, whether it be Carson Wentz or JJ. So that's going to be a big key even for tomorrow's game.
Yeah.
Speaking of Indy, it looks like we're probably going to get the highest possible compensatory pick from Danny Dimes. Or is it still Danny Dimes, or are we going to call him Indiana Jones now?
No, we call him Daniel Dollar.
Yeah, Danny Dollars, yeah.
Daniel Dollar.
Yeah.
Well, and now you got cowards saying that Sam Darnold's elite.
Sam Darnold is playing a lot better than what I would appreciate, considering the fact that him. But I mean, I think we're actually going to be in good shape on getting return on investment in terms of investment of the deal that we made trading them away. We will get return on that.
Yeah, Darnold's getting us a 3rd rounder, and Danny Dimes is going to get us a 4th at this point. So, and again, people keep saying like, "Well, God, look at how Darnold's playing. We should have paid him to stay here because look what he could have done with this team." Yeah, you're not getting Mason, you're not getting Hargrave, you're not getting Allen if you're paying Darnold $45 million a year. Right. So it would have been a repeat of last year. Maybe you get Mason. I guess you could get him, but you're not getting all the additions on defense that we got. You're not getting Isaiah Rodgers.
Right.
Let's move on. Let's do our heroes and zeros for the week. Quick, if I can find it here. All right. Yay. Now everybody knows what we're doing. Okay. This stupid computer. It's not even a computer. It's a Chromebook. I hate it. We'll start with Darren. Give me your hero and your zero from that Bengals game.
So my hero is going to be Mr. number 2, Isaiah Rodgers, and made NFL history with the highest PFF grade ever, and ever, 99.9. And I think my zero is going to have to be Carson Wentz.
Oh,
watch that dude struggle with fucking Cam Jerkins in the pocket. It's like, come on, dude.
That's it.
And then he holds on to the ball. I feel like he holds on to the ball too much. There was a couple of plays where he's just standing there and it's just like, just fucking get the ball off, dude.
Right. Let's go, Matthew.
I think we're all going to say the same hero, so I'll just say yes, Isaiah Rodgers. Oh, no, okay. Well, I'm going to echo. Okay, well, I'll just echo Darren with mine and say Isaiah Rodgers. My zero is going to be Brian O'Neill. I feel like he was probably the weakest part of our O-line, and he's kind of showing.
I was going to be my second.
Yeah, he's been kind of showing that age between the second half of last year and the early part of this year. He's not that dominant right tackle that he used to be, and we've all kind of talked about this the last few weeks about next draft we really need to focus at offensive tackle, if not only to have a backup for when Darisaw is inevitably banged up, but to have O'Neill's replacement. He's getting paid a lot of money to be playing as kind of average as he's been playing, so he's my zero last week.
Jay.
My hero, isn't it refreshing that you're not on your hands and knees praying to the good Lord above for a kicker to kick it through the uprights? It is so refreshing to know that Will the Thrill is more than likely going to make it every single time. And that is my hero, and I'm sticking with it.
Great choice.
The zero, I'm going to go with just the injury bug itself in general. I mean, hopefully we get people back in time. This bye is going to be crucial, getting people healthy, and Donovan Jackson will be coming back, hopefully in full strength. JJ maybe, who knows? So, yeah. But Will the Thrill, I love it.
What makes me love Will Reichert even more is when you see him and you're like, no, he's 16.
Right.
Like, how is he on the NFL roster? This kid needs a permission slip to go on a field trip.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, it was 62 yards, right? One yard shy of the NFL record.
Viking record.
The record for Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a record.
Yeah. So now he holds the Minnesota record and the longest kick in Chicago.
That is actually awesome. I love it. So I need to get creative here a little bit because I've already, have handed out some accolades, to certain players and everything. Talking up Jordan Mason, TJ Hawkinson finally getting on track. When it comes to hero, I got to make sure I remember this right. I don't remember the exact number of snaps, if it was 8, 10, or 13. But Andrew Van Ginkel played less than 15 fucking plays, and out of that, he ended up walking away with 2 sacks.
I think it was
8 snaps, 2 sacks.
What's
8
that?
snaps.
8 snaps, 2 sacks, yeah.
8 snaps and 2 sacks. Van Ginkel, AVG is my hero of the game for doing that. Just because it shows you how deadly he is.
It's unreal.
And then I guess my zero of the game, when you have a dominating effort like that, it's pretty hard to try and single one out. And you guys, I also was kind of thinking O'Neal. I thought Juergens and Brandel filling in after Donovan Jackson went out played it exceedingly well. Because normally I'm really nitpicky on the O-line on stuff and everything.
With a bad wrist.
Yeah. I guess if I had to give a zero out, and not even because he had a poor performance, but he was a non-factor in pretty much anything, it would be it'd be Speedy. Because Josh Oliver even got a touchdown. Speedy made a couple plays and everything, but really he was a non-factor. But when you're pounding people that hard with Jordan Addison and the tight ends are a major part of the game and everything, you'll have that. So even that being a zero and everything isn't even that isn't even that bad of a knock on the guy.
Right. It's got to go to someone.
Right. Yeah. Somebody was the odd man out in terms of playmakers, and he just happened to be it. So,
Yeah, PA was saying on a show this week that he actually expects Naylor to have a huge game against the Steelers because he feels like the Steelers are going to send the house at Addison and Jefferson, leaving Naylor wide open. So he expects him to be a sneaky fantasy flex pickup.
Right.
Well, I hope he's right.
Yeah. And like, this is going to be a little off topic, but it's everyone wants to obviously hype up the Packers defensive line because of the signing of Micah Parsons and just how dominant they've looked. But they also played a 46-year-old Joe Flacco, a second-year struggling Daniels who struggled versus the Giants. Like, I feel like they haven't had a really true like offensive test they've had to go up against. The Vikings defensive line, we ranked third in pressures with our defensive tackles with 29 through 3 games. And like you said, Van Ginkel had 2 sacks and 8 snaps. I feel like we're not getting the defensive respect that we deserve through 3 games so far.
And with just our defensive tackles, you're right, 29 through 3 games. Our interior defensive tackles had 23 all the last season.
Yeah. It's unreal.
Unfreaking real what a difference it makes when you get a guy, and this is not a knock on Jalen Redmond or Levi Drake Rodriguez, because they didn't even, Levi hasn't gotten even a play. He's played way more this year than he did last year, but when you bring in guys like Allen and Hargraves, but you're not beating the shit out of them on every single down, and you have that steady rotation, that just shows how genius that was on their part to get that going like that.
Right.
So moving to what we've got going on, I believe that I will be heading up to Fort Dodge to the Skull Pub, to the Conrad residence, and trying to get a little Iowa VWO gathering going on. That entire garage is decked out. Tommy Kramer's in there multiple times, signing stuff and whatever. Just really cool little place with some of our members in Iowa. Only thing that sucks is I got to get up at like 6:30 or whatever to get on the road to Fort Dodge. But we have the Steelers versus the Vikings from Dublin, Ireland. The last time the Vikings did anything meaningful in Dublin, Ireland, they basically conquered the place and ruled it for like 700 years.
Yep.
I guess what is our keys to the victory? How do we beat a Steelers team that is, and I'm just going to come right out and say it. I know there's Steelers fans because they're everywhere. I mean, in Iowa and everything else. This is not insulting because Mike Tomlin has been one of the longest tenured and most successful head coaches that there has been in the past 3 years. Love Mike Tomlin, but this Steelers team is on the struggle bus, especially on defense right now. What do you guys think the keys to winning versus the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road with the jet lag, the time change difference, obviously practice schedules different, whatever. We are undefeated in Europe. The Vikings have never lost a game in Europe. Do we stay that way, or does something else happen? The last time we played the Steelers in Europe and England, Greg Jennings and Mike Wallace were the stars of the show.
Jesus.
It's been that long.
I remember watching that. That's back when we didn't have all the streaming stuff, but I did have Sunday Ticket, and I had my flat screen. That was an early game, and the kids were still sleeping, but they weren't for very long once I started yelling. So, but let's start, Darren. What do you think we have to establish on either side of the ball in order to be successful against this Steelers team?
Defensively, I think we got to keep the pressure in Rodgers' face. Offensively, I think you got to go with getting the ball and feeding the ball to Jordan Mason. Not only Jordan Mason, but Wentz is going to have to get the ball out all of his reads, whether that be Jefferson, whether that be Addison, Hawkinson, Oliver. so on and so forth. But it just needs to be like an all-out offensive attack mode on that defense. Because I mean, they're gonna have Cam Hayward coming through there. They're gonna have T.J. Watt. So I think we need to have like a dominant game by our O-line.
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree. And I would say, whereas we used Josh Oliver in quite a few different roles last Sunday, I think we need to look at moving him around a little bit and bolstering up the blind side for Carson Wentz with a little extra blocking out of his big body. Just because of the fact that Donovan Jackson's going to be out. I think Darisaw will do a pretty decent job. The possibility also exists if Brian O'Neill struggles again for like the second or the third week in a row, we might need to have Oliver back on that side again too, though. So,
Right.
John's joining us. What's up, John?
What's going on, Rob? How's everybody doing?
How you doing, sir?
Good.
Let me ask you guys a question. Jordan Addison's back now. So who's going to be picking up the third slack? Will it be Jalen Naylor or is it going to be Adam Thielen? And what does this do to Adam Thielen's role since he only came in to cover Jordan Addison?
That's actually a really darn good question. My opinion is Addison, you don't lose your spot due to injury. Addison comes in, he's wide receiver 2. I think Naylor's still wide receiver 3, but I think that's one of those things as to where Thielen also, has a long, illustrious career. I don't see. So, but you got apples and oranges. Thielen is no longer any kind of a threat to stretch the field. I think if you want to run a play where you're running 3 or more wide receivers and you want to stretch the field, that's when KOC's putting Naylor in. And it's going to be dictated on what the defense gives us, right? So I think they have an idea in their head, but they're not going to commit to anything because I think they're going to go with what the defense gives us. If they're playing tough as nails and you just need to get a first down on a 3rd and 7, I think that's where Thielen is in there because he's just freaking on that quick hit in or out to secure the ball.
He's more sure-handed. Where like Naylor, he's got the speed, but sometimes he drops the ball. It's like it hits him in the basket and he just drops it. So
yeah,
I'd even throw Thielen in there when we're in the red zone.
Yeah. Yep. I'm glad he's back. I'm definitely glad he's back. Yeah. And if his career ends, it'd be great to end here. He started here, so why not end here? So
now we just need to bring Eric Hendricks back.
No.
No. I'm really looking forward to getting Cashman back, but I will say, as a person who can admit when they're somewhat wrong on something or really wrong on something, I'm going to go that I'm mostly wrong on my preseason and leading into week 1 spiel about Eric Wilson. I do believe I'd like to give Eric Wilson a public apology. His play far exceeded anything I've ever seen out of him in the past, and he's done a good job.
Yep.
Love him. I was really thinking we were going to be in trouble, and over the past couple of weeks, he's just proved me wrong every time. So I'm thankful for that. I'm happy to be wrong about that.
Yep.
But what Jay and Matthew and then John, we're talking about what do we need to establish on both sides of the ball to be successful against a Steelers defense that is just, not trying to be insulting, but they're struggling. And then an offense led by Rodgers. And everybody thinks of Rodgers as that, multi-year, a decade and a half or whatever of all the duels with Minnesota when he was the quarterback for the Packers. People don't realize towards the end, we were tuning his ass up on a pretty regular basis, and he was not stacking those wins against us. What is your anticipation on this stuff? Let's go with Matthew. Give me your rundown. If you were KOC and B-Flow, what are you doing in order to make sure we win this game tomorrow morning?
I think I'm basically just copying what we did last week. It's the same thing. The Steelers' run game doesn't scare me. The Steelers have Rodgers, who's a capable quarterback, but he's obviously slower than he used to be. He's still mentally efficient, but his release isn't there like it used to be. His legs definitely aren't there like they used to be. And they got DK Metcalf, who's a really, really physical. He's a Greek god of a receiver, basically, and we don't have any corners that can really match up against that. So that's my scariest matchup. But if you could just tell us to stop one receiver, I think we're in a pretty good spot. One thing I think this team does that's sneaky smart under O'Connell, and you can hear it in the press conferences with Rodgers and with the players for the Vikings, is how we travel. Like we left Thursday night, got there Friday morning or something like that, but they take red eye, they sleep on the plane, they get to London or Ireland, and then they train all day. So that way they don't go to the hotel and take a nap, throw off their schedule. Like they immediately get to it. They feel refreshed. They don't feel that kind of jet lag. Meanwhile, you have Rodgers at the podium saying, like, we should have left on Monday. This is bullshit. Like, how are we supposed to play when we don't feel right? So, I mean, this team just does all, they check all the boxes to get them mentally ready. And so I feel like they'll be pretty okay.
That's a good point.
Right, but at the same time, I think Aaron Rodgers is really up for it because he really wants to be perfect against the NFC North. So I definitely think that he's going to take this a lot serious, and we're going to get his A game from him. So that's how we have to prepare. Just get pressure on him, and offensively, we got to protect the quarterback. You know, the first 2 weeks we really did terrible. Last week we did much better. Carson Wentz did get sacked a few times. He wasn't running for his life like J.J. McCarthy was. Every play he was running for his life. So, you know, and when McCarthy comes back, he'll have Addison back. So that'll definitely, be a plus. But got to protect the quarterback.
And when we say Carson Wentz runs, we mean like Bette Midler or Betty White, because he really just never needs to run again. You know. Oh boy. Anyways, but
damn.
Bette Midler, jeez, where'd that come from?
I don't know. That's just the first thing popped in my head was because I think we're getting near Halloween and the Hocus Pocus movie, and then when the three witches were trying to run out of that house or whatever it was and everything. Like, yeah, you're moving at the speed of molasses in January. You know, it's like that. Carson Wentz, it's
like the three witches be Danny Dimes, Kirk Cousins, and Carson Wentz trying to run. Danny Dimes is the only one that manages to get away.
Yeah, that's Sarah Jessica Parker.
I'm pushing 49 years old, but for a good charitable cause, I would line up and do a 40 against Carson Wentz myself. I mean,
I'd line up Carson Wentz versus Rich Eisen.
Oh, right, Rich.
Oh Lord.
So, moving on, let's kind of jump around the rest of the NFC North. Opinions on the Packers on their game.
They're playing Dallas. They're going to win by 15.
Yeah.
I say more than that.
Yeah. I say they're going to win by 24 plus.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think they're going to put up a 30 burger, but I mean, if Dallas struggles worse than they did with the Bears, I could see easily being the 40 burger.
CeeDee Lamb is out. Who are they going to get the ball to?
Right.
Nobody.
Hopefully Pickens. Hopefully do something for me.
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
I feel sorry for you if you have him on your fantasy team.
Hey, I said in the offseason, I said it's going to be a matter of time before we see him crash out, and sooner than later.
But hey, there's no CD. They're going to be playing from behind the entire game. This is going to be a Pickens, 30-point fantasy week.
In garbage time.
Right? I'll take it. I don't care. I got Williams and Pickens.
Because of the fact that I think that team is uber pissed off over the Browns. And the Browns, I think, are the number one rated overall defense right now in the NFL. I could be wrong on that. But I think the Packers as a team, not their fans, but as a team, you could just see it in their faces that they're pissed. Yeah. And as bad as the Cowboys are right now, I think Josh Jacobs, I wish I had him on fantasy right now because Watch
I
that.
got him in one of my leagues.
Yeah, I think it'll just be downhill all damn day long, and there's nothing Dallas does about it. I figure
Right.
Packers win by probably 10 at least.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Browns, next up on that whole pecking order is going to be the Lions.
Ooh.
What about the Lions game here?
I want the Browns to win because I want them to come in. I want them to travel overseas with a high that they beat the Detroit Lions, and then we'll have the advantage because they don't have a chip on the shoulder. They beat the Detroit Lions, and then we have the advantage because now they're traveling all the way over to London to play us. So
Yep, and we'll already be over there.
Yeah, we'll be over there. Wait for them.
That's a good point.
Is it in Cleveland or is it in Detroit?
It's in
Detroit.
London.
No.
Oh, that game. Yeah, it's in Detroit. It's in Detroit.
Yeah, it's in Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Detroit.
Yeah. Detroit's probably going to crush them. Their offense hasn't skipped a beat after week one. The defense looks really good. And again, it's Joe Flacco. It's probably going to be the same. Detroit's probably going to win like 36-17.
So is there a possibility that we could be seeing Shador?
No, he's not even. So I guess I haven't looked in the last 2 weeks, but going into the season, he wasn't even running with the scout team. He was QB5 on the depth chart.
What the fuck?
So, yeah.
So who's the backup?
Like, Kenny Pickett?
He's with the Ravens.
Oh, yeah, he got traded. That's right. I have no idea.
Dylan
It's,
Gabriel.
Yeah,
It's Dylan Gabriel.
Gabriel from Oregon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shador's never seen the light of day on that team unless there's like a nuclear holocaust.
Probably.
Who the fuck did he piss off? Jesus.
That's the thing is, like, I guess the Ravens wanted him, and he's like, well, I'm never going to start over Lamar Jackson, so I'm going to go to a team that's going to start me, and now he's not even running scout team in Cleveland, and they have nobody that should be taking that many snaps away from him if he really is that guy.
Who's our
At least
backup?
to the
Isn't Jameis Winston? He still plays for the Browns, doesn't he?
No.
No, James is on the Giants.
He's on the Giants. Oh shit. Okay.
They got two rookie quarterbacks behind. Flacco.
Jesus.
We'll see, and that's where it gets back to. I know we're getting off on a tangent, but we have time. We have 13 minutes left in the show. If Shador was a little humbler than what he is, and I'm saying that is in the most diplomatic, polite, controversial way possible. If Shador was a little more humble than he is, and by a little I mean a lot, Baltimore would have been a great thing for him. Yes, you probably, as long as Lamar's healthy, you probably aren't touching the ball. But look what they do with Lamar Jackson. The percentage of Lamar Jackson playing his style of football where he does everything in that kind of physicality, the percentage of a guy like that getting injured is exponentially higher than a guy that sits back in the pocket and throws passes. Lamar has been very healthy for the most part throughout his entire career. He is also, is he in his 8th year now?
I think so. Started in 2017, 2018.
Yep.
Somewhere right around the 8-year mark or whatever. That style of Randall Cunningham type of football, it isn't sustainable for very long. Once you hit a certain age, the injuries are going to start piling up. They're going to start, maybe not this year, but I mean, you can only do that for so long. And then, the only guys that have a really, really long career is your guys that are able to do it as a pocket passer and everything.
Well, it's not even just that. We talk about it all the time with Danny Dimes coming in here for all of 3 weeks and it turned him around as a quarterback. Sam Darnold's being called in. Coaching matters. And when you're going like Kevin Stefanski, he's fine, but he's not a QB guru. Like you go to Baltimore, you're getting Super Bowl quality coaching. You're for sure probably QB2, so that means you're getting quality snaps in the preseason so you can showcase your talents there. And you build yourself, and maybe you're a trade candidate. Or like you said, if Lamar does go down, you get to show what you're doing. Go to a place that's going to actually develop you and not just put you in the freaking deep bench.
Yeah, and what quarterback would not want to be on the team where Derek fucking Henry's the running back?
Right?
I honestly think Dion had his fingers in that whole thing. Nobody's ever going to prove anything. It's all just speculation and rumors and opinions. But I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I just think that whole thing was mismanaged about as badly as you can mismanage something. I mean, Archie Manning did Eli no favors, but in the end, it turns out that he really did. But at least they made a decisive decision, and it ended up working out for the young man. I mean, Eli's not young anymore. He's like my age now. But I mean, but I just don't know. I don't feel like that is a good situation at all. But Cleveland is also one of the teams when they're not playing us that I will root for, just like the Bengals, the Cardinals, and any other team that's never won a Super Bowl that I root for. I just see as to where the Browns seem to be really, really damn good at putting together a hell of a defense because they've done it for many years and they're pretty good at it. I haven't seen them do what they need to do on offense, and I mean, really, Tim Couch is the last quarterback that you have to get excited about, and he's like 26 quarterbacks ago. That's just it. The whole thing has just been mismanaged so bad once they brought the Browns back, because the Ravens were the Browns. They moved that franchise.
Yeah.
And then a year later, whatever, they brought it back. Fine. I don't think they've done worth of shit since they brought it back on offense. At least they've had some hellaciously good defenses, but
Right.
But wow, you weren't big on Johnny Football? You didn't like him?
Yeah, Johnny Manziel. Yeah, what about
his entire senior year at A&M, I said he is going to be the biggest bust when he does get drafted way too high inevitably and tries to play in the NFL. I said that is absolutely not transferable. The only person I've ever seen do anything remotely that close and have success was Doug Flutie, and that's once in a freaking generational type of talent.
What about Tebow?
Well,
no, I said Tebow was.
Well, there are a lot of people that said that Johnny Manziel was a great quarterback. He just partied, and once he got drafted, he just kept partying and drinking. And
he was just.
He didn't care.
He was his own enemy,
Yeah, he was just Mitch the bitch with the cocaine habit.
Right.
Now,
and women,
I also said Baker was going to be either a bust or serviceable at best. That has proven me wrong, but
it took him a while.
He did have to have a change of scenery and get some very, very quality coaching. And you know what?
Yep.
He did something a lot of these guys don't. You know what that is? He humbled
himself.
Right. Yep. He shut the fuck up. He got busy. He put effort in. And you know what? He got better. And now he's the starting quarterback on a pretty damn good football team.
He's a borderline top 5 quarterback of the NFL right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's good. Yep, I'll take him.
In the top 10 for sure. I've got him on 2 different fantasy teams. So
yeah. He's an easy guy to root for.
I'm just surprised Cleveland gave up on him.
James.
I mean,
he's in Dublin. He's not worried about the Cognac.
Look at Justin Fields when he was in Chicago. Then he goes to Pittsburgh, looks good. He looked good with the Jets. I think he got hurt, correct? He's injured.
Yeah, he's back to speak for that.
Yeah, so sometimes you need a change of scenery. You need a new fresh start. So
I think he works well with Aaron Glenn's system over there.
Right.
Yes.
Well, and look at what Harbaugh's doing with Herbert. Like he was starting to catch the allegations of like overhyped and bust and stuff like that. Even though he had a really, really good first 3 years, they just weren't doing a lot of the playoffs, and now they have the Chargers looking like a freaking contender.
Not only that, look at Quentin Johnston. For a while,
I got him off waivers. Whoop!
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, are we ever gonna see that this guy even like fucking be like a shell of himself coming out of college? And then now he's playing at that level now.
Right.
So, real quick, before we actually get into officially predicting our game score for Minnesota and Pittsburgh, let's cover the Bears versus Raiders quick. Honestly, it's probably going to be the Bears, something like 142-3 or something. The Bears, the ones from Chicago, they will win 142-3.
That sounds like a Ken Dobb prediction right there.
Right.
Sounds like
Shots
Meat sauce
fired.
Lambert. Oh, meat sauce.
I miss
Right.
that Saturday Night Live sketch with them guys doing that Dub Bears stuff.
Ah, there.
All
That's
I'm
George
gonna
that was
say,
always highly
all I'm
entertaining.
gonna say is if the Bears fail to get at the quarterback, they got some work to do.
Yeah, it's not the Cowboys' defense. The Raiders' defense is actually semi-respectable. I don't think Caleb's going to put up 4 touchdowns this week. I think it's going to be close.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, if I'm being serious, I would pick them something like 21-17.
And,
Yeah,
and
that sounds
this
about
week,
right.
Genty finally goes off.
Maybe.
Genty
Do they
hasn't
finally
done
have an
nothing this
O-line?
year yet.
He has
No.
more yards after contact than he has total rushing yards.
Yeah, he hasn't. It hasn't clicked yet.
I hope so because I drafted him pretty high in one of my leagues, and I'm still kind of waiting on that return on my investment
Yep.
there. So.
He's getting hit at or behind the line of scrimmage on 52% of his snaps.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. His line's doing him no favors.
All I know is Montez Sweat better have a game because I mean you're getting paid 25 million. You should be up in Geno's face.
Right.
Initially, I was pissed that the Bears got him and we didn't because I really, really wanted him. But now that we have Hargraves and Allen, I'm not mad about it anymore.
The facts.
So we got 4 minutes left, realistically 3 if we play the outro. What's our prediction for Vikings and Steelers? Let's start with Darren.
I'm gonna go 21-17 Minnesota.
Matthew?
27-21 Minnesota.
I like that. Jay?
I'm gonna go 28-17, and I'll be pissed off if a guy named Kenneth Gainwell beats us. It should not happen. We should be able to win this pretty easily.
John?
I say 27-20 Minnesota. Aaron Rodgers is going to be up for the game, but I think that his age is going to be the downfall. He's getting old.
Yep. I'm going to say 34-24. Will Reichert will kick one that's between 58 and 60. And Addison will have his first touchdown of the season. So,
God, I can't wait to have him back.
Can't wait.
Okay, final thoughts, everybody.
Fuck the Lions, fuck the Bears, fuck the Packers.
Hey, it's the School 365 intro.
Win a winnable game. Win a winnable game.
Get Will to thrill a Euro record for a kick.
Yeah, that would actually be cool. You know, if he did kick from 64 someday, I'd be thrilled as shit.
I'm just happy because these 2 games are going to be considered road games and we're overseas. So if we get these 2 wins and then go into the bye, get McCarthy healthy because, hey, we'll have the defending champs coming home soon. So, you know.
And getting key people back at that time, too.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I saw the ticket sales are heavily favoring Vikings in this game, so it should feel like a home game.
Nice. Well, we're out of time. We will see you guys next week. Skol.
Skol.
Yeah, yo, it's game time. Ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports. Just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken. Stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.